heard it here first.
Check us out. Check us out. Check us out. That's what I do. That's how
Hey man, it's gonna make your head explode.
check us out. Check us out. 5 letters, 5 words. 5 letters, 5 words. 5 letters, 5 words. Beyond the headlines. Beyond the headlines.
Jay, thank you for blessing us on hashtag RTBTH. This is Real Talk Beyond the Headlines. Big shout to super co-host Herschel. Big shout to super co-host Ehi. We're going to get the three of us back on the podcast soon. And we're going to bring some fucking fire. We're going to bring some heat. But right now we have Jay Williamson, who's bringing some heat. He's bringing some intellect, some wisdom. And he's bringing the West Coast correspondence. Thank you, Jay, for blessing us with your wisdom and the insights into the West Coast. Okay, we have another topic. This is part 2 of the podcast. Previously, we talked about Kendrick, the king, the greatest ever, the GOAT of rap, which I didn't say on part 1. Jay-Z was the GOAT, unstoppable, undefeatable, unbeatable, until Kendrick defeated him last year and this year. 5 Grammys, sweep, demolished Drake. Kendrick is the king. That's the name of this podcast. Kendrick is king. And thank you, Jay, for bringing to us the wisdom, the analysis, the understanding, the scope of his defeat of Drake. But now we have to talk about the Lakers. Jay, why do the Lakers always get the big name? Why do the Lakers always get the big star? Jay, how the do the Lakers land Luka fucking Doncic? Jay, how?
Bro, you got to go ask my man Nico. You gotta go talk to Nico, man. Dallas is through that. They put that in our lap. Like, there is no other way that would have happened ever. They just gave us a generational player and just said, hey, we don't want him no more. You can have him. Didn't talk to nobody else. Maybe one other team. Just the Lakers. Yeah. Thank Nico. And Nico we trust. That's the homie over there. Appreciate you, dog. GM forever. I hope they don't get rid of you in Dallas.
Bro, okay, so the thing about it, the crazy thing is that, like, well, first of all, is Luka. Which, I hadn't known this previously. Like,
Luka.
Yeah, Luka fucking Doncic. I hadn't known this previously before the trade, but he was like, he had won 5 NBA All Team. I guess maybe it was first All Team, maybe All NBA awards, which
First team All NBA. Yeah.
Yeah. And first team All NBA. And he had achieved this at a very young age. He had achieved it within his first, 2 contracts or whatever. And apparently, I don't know the whole ins and outs. There's a lot of, the contracts thing and the salary cap. There's a lot of stuff going on there. But apparently he was able to get the most massive contract in NBA history because he had done something that I don't know if it had never been done. I think it had never been done before. 5 All NBA in the first whatever number of years. I didn't know that he had achieved that. I knew Luka was, an exceptional player. And I am kind of in and out with the NBA. I don't watch games nonstop like I used to, but I follow. I know who's in the, doing well and things like that. But I hadn't realized that he had been dominating like that. If there was ever a player ever in the history of the NBA that you don't trade, it was Luka Doncic. And not only did they trade him, but they traded him to the Lakers. Come on. Kobe, Magic, Shaq, Kareem, LeBron James. The Lakers get everybody. Why? And look, I'm not mad because look, LeBron's the GOAT. And in order to solidify his position as the GOAT, another championship would be nice. And Luka's going to bring it to Los Angeles. But why are the Lakers always landing the big name? Come on, they almost had Chris Paul. I mean, we remember that. Jay, explain it to me.
Of course we remember that. There's no reason why it should have never happened. God, man, I still hate that, man, but it's fine. So whatever, it's cool. Nobody's servants. How can it happen? I think we deserve it, Tune. I think the Lakers deserve it.
Oh my God.
I think out of any franchise in the NBA, the Lakers deserve it the most. Who else is going to beat Boston for most championships in franchise history? It's got to be us. Nobody wants Boston winning all those. You don't want Boston having more championships than the Lakers.
Absolutely
Nobody
not.
wants that.
Absolutely not. You're right. You're right.
Yeah, so we had to do something about it. And so Luka came as an option. We were like, yeah, we'll do that. And now we got a player who's going to probably be on the Lakers for the next 10 years, potentially. And like you said, is a 5-time All-NBA first-team selection, which is more than Curry has in his entire career. And you know how good that dude is. Like, this is insane. So I'm honestly still a little bit in awe. Like, everybody has like that, oh, you remember where you were in this moment or this time. I think everybody who's a Lakers fan is going to remember exactly where they were when this trade went.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty insane. I mean, I just, the Lakers always snag the big guy. I lived in LA, the LA area, San Bernardino County, Fontana, California, actually, specifically, when the Lakers were winning championships with Kobe and Shaq. So I'm not, because of my, I moved somewhat in my youth, Atlanta, California, sort of back and forth to a degree. So I don't have too much allegiance to an NBA team. There was a time when I was a fan of the Sacramento Kings, but we won't talk about that too much.
We won't speak at those times.
Hey, look, Peja Stojakovic, Chris Webber, man, them niggas was my dudes, man. And you know who beat them?
I mean, yeah, I do. I know who always owned the Queens. I know exactly who owned the Queens.
Like I said, I don't have too much allegiance, to teams, but I have allegiance to LeBron James. And oh my God, this is the best thing that could happen to LeBron James. Yo, big shout to Anthony Davis. Good dude. Not Luka Doncic.
I love AD. He's not, but I was very sad for him to leave. I'm not going to lie. Like it took me a minute to get excited about Luka. I'm not even going to front. Like, as soon as the trade went through, because I also love Max Christie. Max Christie, he was you can look at me like I'm crazy, but I loved AD. And as much as I knew that Luka was that dude, you have to understand, you develop a bond with these players, dog. Especially, you wouldn't know, I guess, because you're not like a fan of a team per se. But when you are a fan of a team, like, you're reading about these fools, you see press conferences with these dudes, you learn about their lives somewhat, like, and you watch them play. I don't really watch a ton of basketball outside of watching the Lakers, like, until the playoffs come, because I just don't have time for that. There's too many games. So the Lakers are just my squad. I'm reading about them. I'm watching them. Like, I felt like I had a relationship with AD. It was crazy. And so when he left, I was sad. That dude took us to a championship. He brought a banner. Luka has not brought a banner yet. AD has. And so for that dude to leave, that meant something. So I say all that to say, though, it did not take very long for me to get excited about Luka coming to the Lakers shortly thereafter. However, it was a moment. I had a moment.
Right. Well, I mean, like I said, I haven't been watching a lot of games. It's crazy because I don't have cable. I have HBO Max or Max, whatever the fuck it's called, and they show the TNT games, and pretty much every week it's Lakers, and so I'm winding up watching a lot of Lakers games. And the thing is, like, I don't even, like, I love basketball, but I just don't, like, I'm not trying to sit and watch games, and I feel the same way about the NFL too. Like,
yeah, fair.
In my old age, mid-30s, middle age, which feels great, by the way. It feels great to be in my mid-30s. I know a lot of people try to valorize youth. Being in your mid-30s feels wonderful. Anyway, in my old age, I'm not... Yes, exactly. I'm not sitting around watching games all day long, but I'm just like, you know what? Look, I gotta see the Lakers. I gotta see Luka and LeBron. I have to watch that shit. Okay, so this is the crazy part, Jay. Explain this to me. Explain to me how the Dallas Mavericks now have, look, I love Kyrie. I know Kyrie has taken a lot of shit in the media and people, have things to say about him as a person, his personality. Look, Kyrie's a hooper. He's a baller. And as far as I can tell, he's a good dude, So I feel bad that he got hurt, and he's avoided major injury. Well, I shouldn't say avoided completely, but he hasn't had like the ACL, the Achilles in his career. So, I feel sad for him. I feel upset, And then AD got injured too. Jay, explain to me how the Mavericks are getting shat on and the Lakers are balling right now. Explain that to me, Jay. Why the fuck do the Lakers always do this? Every 3, 4, 5 years, the Lakers just magically become amazing. Like, not just amazing, but contenders. Right now, they're 3, 4 in the West. The Oklahoma City Thunder are a squad, but other than that, who can really bang with the Lakers? How is it that the Lakers always find themselves in this position where they're sniffing, they're looking, they're pretty much like they have the championship in their hands? Why does this always happen?
At one point I would have said ownership because, Jerry Buss was that dude, but his daughter's not that great sometimes. But I will say that they are doing a lot better. Our scouting department is actually very good. So, you got to give credit where credit's due. If you look across the league and you see some of these dudes who are out here balling, a lot of them, not a lot of, but like a decent amount of them are ex-Lakers who we had to trade or whatever. So I think that the basketball gods truly just want the Lakers to outduel the Celtics. I think that's all it comes down to. I don't think you got to try to make it anything more than it is. I think that's all it is. Everybody realizes that there's no way in hell that Boston should have 18 and we should have 17. So we have to do something about it. But I will also say that we are lucky as hell. Like we are lucky as hell. Like there's no reason that we should have ended up with Luka. You know how much teams would have traded for him? And as much of an AD fan that I am, like all we had to give up was AD and Max Christie. Like that is wild. That is absolutely wild. So there's really no reason this should have happened. That's why, again, Nico, wherever you are, you the man. We love you out here in LA. If you get ran out of Dallas, you always have a home here. Like it is insane how we went from like, oh, we like our team, like we may win a playoff series, maybe 2, but like we're not ready, like we're not contending. And then now, like people were doubting that we would even contend, like fully contend in the first year with Luka because we didn't get a big in that trade and the Mark Williams thing got rescinded, like all of that. People were like, all right, well maybe this will just be the year for them to figure out how to play together in the next year. But nah, like this team is already doing some crazy things. And not even on the offensive end. That's the crazy part. People are only thinking about the offensive firepower that we have. It's our defense that is killing folks right now. And once we figure out the offensive side, once LeBron and Luka and AR and Rui comes back and like when they all figure out how to play together fully, this team's going to be really difficult to beat. So LA has had a lot going on over the past year, really. And this is sure one of the more exciting things that has happened. So yeah, man, it's unfair. I will say that. I apologize to every other team in the league except Celtics. I don't give a fuck about y'all. But every other team in the league, I feel bad for y'all. Dallas fans, my heart goes out to you. My prayers go out to you. I hope that the team finds a way to figure it out and to get healthy and to, be okay maybe next season. But like, yeah, man. Dallas fans got to be going through it right now. Like, really going through it. I would probably boycott the team. I'm not going to lie.
Bruh, on some real shit, though, it's unfathomable to think that you had the number 1 generational talent in the league to the guy you traded for is injured. The guy you went to the finals with that guy
immediately
is injured. And I don't know what where they are now. You know, we'll see if they make the playoffs. But Kyrie's not coming back. Maybe AD might. But that is so tragic, man. It's just anyway. Look, like I said, to me, it's about LeBron. Look, we need you to get another championship, LeBron. We need to stop this conversation. We need to shut this conversation down about who's the greatest ever, because we know who the greatest ever is. It's LeBron James.
All right. Well, this is where you and I have we slightly differ in our opinions. Not necessarily about greatest of all time. I'm not even trying to have that argument, but your love for LeBron is not where I stand. I am not a LeBron lover. I can appreciate LeBron. I can appreciate everything he brings to the game and his talent and the fact that he is 40 years old and still one of the top players in the league. All of that. I can appreciate it all. I will not call myself a LeBron fan. That is not who I am. Ever since day one, when we got him on the team, you remember, I was kind of mad. I was like, why do you gotta bring LeBron to the Lakers? Like, I've been hating on this dude for a minute. Like, why are we bringing his fool to the Lakers? And so it's been a quite a battle over the past years with LeBron on the Lakers, because I've had to accept it and I've had to acknowledge it and I've had to root for the man. And I've gotten better, Tunde. I've gotten much better. and I am fully aware that I am in the minority, but there are some of us who just cannot fathom the fact that LeBron is a Laker. And if he gets another one with the Lakers, for sure, he's probably going to get his jersey retired. Like, no doubt about it. But I don't think I'm ever going to be a LeBron fan. And I'm sorry.
Well,
you can continue, but I just wanted to make sure that we're aware of our diverging paths. just so that was out there.
Wow. Oh, okay. Yeah. Speechless.
Got him.
I am speechless. Yeah. Look, Jay, look, I'm going to say this once. LeBron James is the greatest basketball player ever. And the fact that he's on,
though.
Okay, I want to say it. Look, I'm going to just say it one more time. LeBron James is the greatest basketball player ever, and the fact that he's on the Lakers is just so impossibly hard to fathom. And the fact that he is also playing with Luka Doncic is literally galaxy brain unfathomable. Yeah. I can't even contain it in my brain. And
it is insane. It's like actually insane. The amount of basketball IQ that's on the court at one time. Like, you got two of the best passers on the team, like in the NBA, really, on the same team right now. And not in their prime, but like still at full strength in a lot of ways. Like, it's crazy. It's absolutely insane.
And the part that's really crazy, you know, I mean, look, the NBA playoffs, I mean, best time of the year, the best tournament in basketball, 7 games, you know, just absolute basketball prowess. You have no denial of who's the best. I mean, you know, maybe there's a team that goes 7 games and one team wins one, and, you know, game 7, you're like, oh, okay, you know, I don't know if they were the best, but that NBA playoffs, you know who's the best. And right now, it's looking like the Lakers can really compete. I mean, they can. Matter of fact, they beat the Nuggets yesterday by like 20. You know, a contender.
Yeah, well, that was without the Joker and without Murray, 2 of their best
and
players.
And without LeBron.
Still. And Rui. Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, you got to keep, all things got to have context.
True.
But
true.
Yes, we did beat them.
True.
We did beat them.
You know, I mean, Oklahoma City Thunder, they're looking like a squad, but Oklahoma City Thunder winning championship doesn't compute. So we'll see how it looks in the...
Yeah, because they haven't proven themselves in the playoffs yet. That's a team that's going to be, I feel like, really fun to watch in the playoffs, though, because they got a chip on their shoulder. They're all young. They're probably the epitome of what a team is in the NBA. Like, those dudes do their interviews together. Like, that shit's hilarious. So,
okay. Gotcha. Looking like the fucking KD, Russell Westbrook, Harden Thunder, young squad, ballers, hoopers, you know, and they got early draft pick guys who are just like, you know, I forget where Shai Gilgeous was drafted, but Chet was drafted number 1. Young squad who's hooping, balling, right? But
Yeah,
I
man.
can't see.
Just happy SGA is not on the Clippers anymore.
Well, matter of fact, thank you. Let's talk about the Clippers, the other team in LA that I know that you love so much.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. We don't have to talk too much about the Clippers, but something that I saw, like I said, I don't follow the NBA that closely, but I saw something the other day that blew my fucking mind. Ben Simmons is on the Clippers. How the fuck did that happen?
Yeah, man, that fool was on the Clippers, and he had a solid role too. Like when he first got there, I don't know how he's been doing since, but like, yeah, man, Ben Simmons straight in the league still, crazy, and people want him, and like paying this man money.
Yeah. Well, actually, the reason why I found out that he was on the Clippers is because I'll look at scores. Like I said, I don't watch games a lot, but I'll look at scores because I want to see who's winning games. Especially in the West, there's people are battling for spots, for in the rankings for the playoff standing. The East, is a little bit more solid. Like the Cavaliers and the Celtics are pretty much locked in at number 1 and 2. But in the West, I mean, dudes is fighting. I mean, Thunder look like they're pretty much locked in for number 1 right now, but dudes is fighting. Dudes are fighting, man. Dudes are battling, which is one of the best things about the NBA and the West. But I was looking at the scores, and actually, I think the reason why I even looked at the scores because they play the Lakers. I always got to see what the fuck the Lakers are doing. But I scrolled down at my phone. I scrolled down to the bottom, just being on my phone, being mindless on my phone. And I saw B. Simmons, and it said DNP did not play. I'm like, what the fuck is this? So I looked it up. It was Ben Simmons. Then I looked up the information. Apparently, he got released by the Nets, and then the Celtic or the Clippers picked him up on a contract or whatever. But then he was not playing because of an injury. Look, I don't know if you follow the Ben Simmons saga, but this is the most depressing just storyline ever in basketball. And now he's in your hometown, the town that you live in, the town that is the home of the Lakers, the greatest ever. And
we got this girl up there.
Right. Yeah. And then you have like the 24th greatest ever, the Clippers. I mean, I don't know if there's anything to say really, but thoughts?
I mean, good riddance, Ben Simmons and the Clippers. Like I don't follow the Clippers. I don't pay attention to what they do. I was ecstatic when they left Staples. I laugh every time they make it to the playoffs because I know nothing's going to happen. Like, I'm happy for their fans because some of these people are legitimate Clippers fans and some of them did grow up in LA. And the fact that you could grow up in LA and become a Clippers fan and not a Lakers fan. But the funny thing, like, half of these fools are claiming both teams. I'm like, you can't do that. Like, that doesn't work. So kudos to whoever wants to be a Clippers fan. I ain't mad at you. I don't really think about you. But I will say that it's funny because we were talking about like the whole like where I was saying where were you when the Luka trade happened, and that kind of thing is always going to exist in my brain. Well, funny story is that I was in Intuit Dome where the Clippers now play for the first time. Not watching the Clippers, of course. I'm not going to the Clippers game.
I was just about to say, what was he doing over there?
Was not watching the Clippers game, but I was in their building when the trade came through, and it was for a basketball event. And everybody was getting the alert on their phone at the same time. And the amount of people that stood up and cheered and were wilding into a dome, the Clippers stadium, wilding about a Lakers trade because the Lakers are about to be hella good. Like, it was the perfect thing. And it's like, it was honestly like the best case scenario for me as far as like how I could find out the news. Like, it was the best. It was literally the biggest fuck you did to Clippers.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed that moment, and I'm for sure going to remember that till the day I die. So,
yeah, well, the Clippers, honestly, the Intuit Dome, or is that what it's called? Intuit Dome or Intuit Arena or whatever? Yeah.
Intuit Dome.
Yeah. I mean, there was like a lot of, maybe not a lot, but, I think there was like a good bit of publicity about like how like state of the art this arena's supposed to be, and
Yeah.
it's actually very beautiful. But the only
Yeah. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright. It really is. And I'm not even just saying that just trying to like shit on him. Like it's not when you're there, it's not as impressive as you would think. Like even like the tech part of it is kind of just like annoying because you have to have their app, number one. You have to put everything on their app, like your credit card information, like all that.
wait,
and if
just
you don't,
just even come in.
just even come in, just even get into the building.
Oh my god!
And then once you're there, like to buy stuff, if you don't do everything, like you can't buy anything. You literally can't. You can't buy food. You can't buy drinks. You can't do nothing while you're in the stadium.
It has to be
if you
on
don't
the
put
app.
your has to be through the app. You get credit card information, everything. Like it's crazy. So I was not a fan of that. The only cool thing about this gym or this stadium, dome, whatever,
Jim.
is the fact that outside, this is not even on the inside, outside of it, their little like courtyard area, they have they got a court. And so they got balls that you could just pick up and just start shooting around and people can get games going if they want to. So that was the dopest part about it. Is like they got like the stairs that kind of lead down into it, and then this just like random outdoor court that they just have, anyone can access before you go watch the game or even after the game. So
Yeah,
that part was cool.
gotcha. That's pretty cool. It's kind of
So-
like a Venice Beach sort of thing, just like pull up and hoop kind of thing. That's kind of what it sounds like.
Yeah. So all right, I've hit my Clipper quota though.
Yeah. But the Clippers, I mean, the state or the arena, like I said, it looks very nice from here. Maybe on the inside it's not as dope, but it should have never happened. Y'all niggas should have left. Y'all should have went to Las Vegas or Seattle. Like this whole little brother Lakers thing, especially, if it was like, maybe a different city where the team wasn't as, exceptional, so in New York you have the Knicks and the Nets. Both teams are like they're both kind of okay teams. Like even though the Knicks have a pretty storied history, they haven't won a championship literally in like 50 years.
In a long time.
Right.
Yeah.
But so you can be the Nets and still have like, and because the Nets are Brooklyn has its own identity, its own feel. It's its own thing, it's still New York, but in LA, I mean, like why are we doing this? Why are we wasting our time with this team?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Seattle have been needing a team since the Supersonics left, bro. Like just send them up to Seattle, dog. It's perfect. That's all I
Las
need.
Vegas.
Just get that. Vegas would be dope too. Yeah, they get in a whole bunch of teams now. So like, yeah. I mean, I feel like that probably will be if they do end up moving. Like,
But
I
they
don't think
just
there are
built the
talks about that
arena.
happening. No, I know it's not going to happen. But I'm saying if any other team moves, it'll probably be the Vegas.
Yeah. Okay. All right. One more thing, Jay. Thank you so much for blessing us on #RTBTH. Okay, so LeBron is the GOAT. Undoubtedly the GOAT. But he has a stain. What's that supposed to mean? What is the Jay just
That was just how many times you said it. That's just how many times you said that name. And it made that particular phrase. I'm just
okay.
I thought
you were talking
making
about
sure you
4
realize.
championships.
Not rings. I don't want to go there.
Because those 4 championships are greater than anything Jordan could have ever put together in whatever number of years that he played or could have played. Just whatever. We're not going to go there, Jay. Thank you, for trying to. LeBron's the GOAT. Okay. LeBron has one stain. And look, I love LeBron, but I can't let this go. Bronny James came to the league because of nepotism. And now he's looking like shit because of nepotism. And that is the one stain on LeBron. God bless LeBron. He is a fantastic NBA player, a wonderful role model, and he has not had any serious infractions on his career. He's not getting pulled over for drunk driving. He's not, doing stupid shit in the club. He's not having baby mamas left and right, and he supports the cause of the people. in terms of politics, social justice. He shows up, he shows out for us. Thank you, LeBron. But the nepotism is unbearable. I'm sorry. I look, Bronny, I wish you all the best, but shit is looking real bad, dude. Talk to us.
I mean, you ain't. We fully agree on this one, like 100%. And I wasn't one of those who was like, oh, maybe it's actually no. From day one, since this man got Bronny into the league, like I was adamantly opposed because that's what it is. Everyone knows nepotism though. That's the other thing. It's like it's not even like it's a secret. Like it's not like, oh, Bronny was like real good in college. He didn't even play that much in college. You didn't know it. Like you saw what he did at USC, and thank God that man is okay after like suffering cardiac arrest. But like, my goodness, like you don't have a resume of hooping to prove your worth. And to top it all off, this man is not even on a 2-way contract. He has a legitimate 4-year contract. Like he is not like a G League player who's sometimes, he is a G League player who's sometimes playing in the real games and sometimes playing in the G League, but his contract doesn't represent that at all. And so that was the other thing that bothered me was like this, he didn't deserve a contract with the team. And out of all, like, and of course, the fact that the Lakers ended up with him, like everything was just so planned and so like, it's sad, man. It's just really sad. Like this doesn't help Bronny in any way, shape, or form. Like he's not going to really benefit from this at all. And he's going to be getting shit for the rest of his career. And we'll see how long that career lasts. Because in my mind, it's however long LeBron decides to stay in the league. Because I don't know why any other team would want to have him. So we'll see.
Yeah, man, it's quite distressing because I feel like there's so many things that could have gone differently. For one, he could have stayed at USC for 4 years, developed into a solid player, did what he had to do, or he could just, even if LeBron had to have the moment with playing with his son on game 1 of this season, he could have done that, but then just went straight to the G League or maybe international, Now it's just like become this whole, like, it's just nepotism at its worst, If there's any one person I could let it slide for, it's LeBron, because he's done so much for the league and he's that guy, And nepotism happens everywhere in society, right? And people just kind of let it slide, whatever. So yeah, I can let it slide, but you can't go out and be shitty, like, You gotta hoop, bruh, or just go to the G League.
He's trash. He does go to the G League. He does go sometimes and travels with the team, whatever. But like, it's still hard to watch because thing is, people love it. Like as much nepotism as there is all throughout this whole affair, people love it. Like I don't know if you've watched Laker games at the end when they're blowing somebody out and the bench comes in. Like, and Bronny gets a chance to play, people are rooting and like really cheering this man on. And like, even before he gets out there, they're screaming Bronny. Some people were they were yelling MVP at one point when he was on the free throw line. Like, I can't get behind that. Like, I really can't. Like, it's just kind of nasty. Like, this man is not good. He does not need to be in the league. So,
yeah. Wait, so what's a general like take for the Lakers fans? So you said that a lot of people love it, but like especially because the Lakers are trying to steal a championship this year. Like legitimately, OKC is a squad that's going to be hard to beat, but other than them, the Lakers could probably hang with any other team in 7 games. So we're talking championship is so when you're contending, how are people feeling about it? Is there a lot of love? Like, so you already said there's a good number of people who are loving it, but when you're fighting for a championship, we're not trying to do no Bronny, love. Like, we're trying to win and fight.
No, of course not. There's a usually in the playoffs, there's like a 8-9 man rotation that happens on teams, and Bronny will not be a part of that 8 to 9 man rotation. So it's once the playoffs happen, it's going to be serious, and I think even LeBron is going to acknowledge that. So I'm not concerned about what's going to happen when we're in the playoffs. I mean, I'm really excited about what we can bring to the table because we got more depth than people think. And again, does not include Bronny, but like there are tons of people on this team, on the squad that are not Luka, that aren't LeBron, that aren't Austin Reeves, that are contributing. And it makes me really geek to see what we can do when we finally get to the playoffs and start to figure this thing out. Because Luka's only played like, it hasn't been that many games since he's been with the Lakers. And so we still got a lot we got to figure out offensively, like I was alluding to earlier. But once it comes together, man, like look out, because the team is ready. Like I think they got the right mentality too. And the coach, we didn't even talk about the coach. I'm so happy that hasn't even become a whole discussion this season, because people were sitting here like, brooding about JJ Redick getting the job, and now this man's done so well that nobody's even talking about the coaching job right now. Like it's not even a topic of discussion at all. So, I mean, I tip my hat to that dude, because he's had to deal with a strange like situation with the Bronny deal. He's had to deal with, a superstar in LeBron who was homies with, but like he's not an easy person to coach. He's had to deal with like crazy line of changes that are like based on like getting, various people in and then having people leave and bringing in Luka and trying to figure that out. So
you mean Luka?
Like who?
Various people.
Hey, AD, Max Christie had to leave, bro. You can't just like forget about Max Christie.
Sure.
But no, like it's been a year for JJ Redick, and he had like one of his properties burned to the ground during the fires. So like the man has done a very good job in his very first year as the Lakers head coach. And I just think he deserves some credit where people are kind of forgetting about all that.
Indeed. Well, JSwill, the music genius, our West Coast correspondent, thank you so much for blessing us on this podcast. And, let's look out for the Lakers, man. They got a squad.
Yeah, man.
And, quick shout out to the LA Rams. We talked about them a little bit in the playoffs. I was hopeful. I was thinking Matt Stafford might be able to do a thing. I actually did not.
Hey, we just got Tay, though. Who? Tay? Oh, Devontae. Sorry. Devontae. He goes by Tay. That's his nickname.
Oh, that's what y'all call. I ain't never heard that shit before. Y'all,
bro, you got to get on it. Dog.
Soon as dudes pull up to LA, they already got, hey, Tay. They already got a nickname. Oh, what's up,
Tay? That's been his nickname in the league. That's been his nickname in the league.
Okay.
But for the teams that he's on, yeah.
Okay, well, I didn't know that, but okay, all right. That's a huge pickup. That's what's up. I didn't know that fucking Aaron Donald retired before last season. Like I didn't watch like games. Like
bro, where you been?
Bro, I don't know. That's crazy.
That was like, you didn't even have to watch the games. That was big news when that hit, dog.
Bro, really? That's crazy. Because I was like, I was watching the playoffs. I was like, where the fuck is Aaron Donald? Like, and then I looked it up and it said, oh, he retired. I was like, what the fuck, dude? But shout out to him.
Yeah, man.
He won a lot of shit. Defensive Player of the Year, Super Bowl. And look, I love football.
3 times.
3 times he did. That's like a tie for most, or has anyone ever won it 4 times?
Tied.
Oh, okay.
It's tied.
So he potentially is the greatest defensive player ever. Big shot to him. I always thought he was such a model, role model player, just a, great player, and he never was into any bullshit, never got in trouble or whatever. I always thought he was just such a model player, and also playing nose guard. And being dominant in that position.
I mean, he was more of a defensive tackle, but yeah.
Okay. Well, even that is like pretty extraordinary to be one of the greatest ever, and getting sacks. So, but I didn't realize that he fucking retired, man. That's crazy. So big shout to Aaron Donald.
You late.
I know. Okay. One more last question. Jay, is Gavin Newsom going to be our next president?
I'm gonna say no. I'm
Okay.
gonna say no.
Well, you heard it here first, literally,
say no.
because we have 4 years until the next election. So, but Jay Williamson, JSwill, the music genius, thank you. And this is hashtag RTBTH. We out.
Yeah, thanks for having me, dog.
Peace.
Let's go. Play me a hot